Hey everybody, welcome to RBL Weekly. It is week 9 of the Roast Battle League season, sponsored exclusively by Neft Vodka. I am the commissioner of the Roast Battle League, Pat Barker, joined as always by the host and creator of the Roast Battle, Brian Moses. Brian, big league event coming up this week. This is going to be dropping on Tuesday, which means 2 days from the time this drops, we will be in the main room at the Comedy Store with 4 incredible league battles. You excited?
I'm very excited about it, man. We've got some huge judges coming in for this. I couldn't be more excited about it. All kinds of battles from around the world, from around the league, here in the States. You booked this thing. We've been waiting for this. This is like Battle Mania for me, so I'm excited. It's Jack Trainer's first time in the States. Ryan Cullen might set off a car bomb. I don't know what's going to happen.
There's a lot. It's going to be exciting. Ryan Nesson and Ryan Cullen are going to be battling. I've been looking forward to that since they didn't meet in the World Championship in 2023. They've been prepped for that battle for 2 years. The battle for Ryan Nesson's sister, her heart. She likes Ryan Cullen more than her own brother. That's the story behind that one, which I'm hoping comes up in the battle. Jack Trainer against Tom Goss, 2 of the most entertaining people in the league. Britt Beer, one of the reigning champions in the Bay Area, going up against Trey Pack, one of our best battlers from Austin. And, of course, in a season that is in the early stages being defined by the Chicago-New York race, they're going to go head-to-head, I believe for the first time this season, as Max Sorich, last season's Chicago MVP, takes on Malia Simon. So it's going to be a great event. Make sure you get your tickets right now if you haven't and you're in the LA area. I'm excited. We got a bunch of great battles this week. Thank you to the ranking committee. This was a very, very difficult week. 14 battles submitted. I thought 12 of them were good enough to be podcast ranked. I was very, very close on my rankings, and I think a lot of people went through the same thing. I expect a lot of debate this week in the comment section. I think a lot of people are going to, have their own opinions, and we welcome that, of course. If we fucked up, tell us.
It's week 9.
It is week 9.
Let's dig in.
Let's get into it. And let's start with the number 7 battle this week, and this comes to us from Australia, home of former 76er Ben Simmons. We were just talking about how much we hate that guy right before we hit record on the podcast here. It's been a slow start to Sydney's season as they rebrand from being Roast Battle Australia the last couple years. They are now Roast Battle Sydney. They made 1 appearance on the podcast earlier in the year, and this will be their second. They pick up a point. This was a very polarizing battle that was as high as 3rd on a couple of ballots and unranked on others. And it features a familiar face to us from the Yeah Mad crew. This is Rory Lowe. Oh. Remember Rory going up against someone I've never seen before. I became a big fan of in this battle, Steph Broadbridge. It's number 7 this week. Here it is.
Hello, thank you. So I didn't actually have enough time to write any roast jokes, so I've just written down some of my thoughts. Dear Rory Lowe, you have a problem with alcohol, and it is affecting the people who care about you, and me. Last week at Festival Club, you hugged me for too long while telling me you were proud of me, and then spilled a whole vodka on my jacket. And I am very concerned that you think that was a nice moment we shared, and not something I told everyone about in a mean group chat.
It's very hard, but I would never spill a drink. I don't have an alcohol problem. I have a cocaine problem, which is why my dick doesn't work. But the reason Steph can't get a dick hard is because she has a face problem. I've actually seen flaccid dicks that look better than Steph's face. And the only reason I have a coke problem is because, God forbid I end up in her bedroom, I need my dick not to work.
It's really important that you don't blame her if she's beautiful.
This isn't AA.
Dear Rory Lowe,
Yeah!
I I have watched you go from a comedian in their mid-20s who talks about partying and doing too many drugs to being in your 30s and still doing that. Judging by your life choices and the BO, you are slowly killing yourself. Is there any way you could speed that up for us?
To be honest, I'm just still surprised my phone has enough charge for me to read these out. Jesus Christ. Steph is over 40. Steph is over 40, single, has no children, just wrote a musical and plays the ukulele. Just tell us you're a fucking lesbian already. Every time I try to fist bump her, she sits on it.
Dear Rory Lowe's fiancée Tara, I am sorry to find out you were in hospital recently after cutting part of your ear off. And if I had to choose between hearing Rory talk every day or physically deforming my head and face, I'd be Van going to get the good scissors.
You're just jealous someone loves me. This is so much fun. I was having such a shit day, and I'm glad we got to do this. It's made it so much better. So Steph Broadbridge is actually part Asian, which explains why her tits are small. This is my impression of Steph.
I believe it's Yuka Rari.
Oh, women can be funny
really
too.
go in on
I play ukulele.
that was an insane attempt.
What? I'm not even Asian enough to laugh at that. Dear Rory Lowe, that one earring you wear looks gay as hell. And not gay in a homosexual way. Gay in the way that we use it to describe you behind your back. For example, is that retarded loser with a fake British accent gay?
Look, we already know who won, but I'm going to finish anyway. Oh, dude, that's so fun. One more, like this one, and then one more. This will be the last
I've
one.
had enough.
Okay.
Sam Simmons ref.
You're gonna have to explain that one to me.
It's Ben Simmons' brother.
Ah,
I'm
Steph is
kidding.
so ugly.
There it is.
Even Sam Simmons is like,
That's
oh,
really
I'm
well
not
done,
raping this
actually.
bitch.
Fucking hell.
Dear Rory Lowe, your brother Chris Martin from Coldplay couldn't be here tonight, but he said that he wants you to stop sniffing his ex-wife vagina candles. It's creepy, and last year it ruined Christmas.
you got it. That's all.
And he also wrote a song for you and asked me to sing it on his behalf. Is that okay?
Oh, it's Bukareri time.
Your much more successful brother Chris Martin than Paul.
I'll do ad-libs.
Please don't interrupt. Never mind. Look at the crowd. Look how they smile at you. If only they all knew. Armpits mellow. You took your walk, but you're an inebriate.
21.
Who watches and tape. You're an incello. Your jokes suck and you don't own a car. You look like you own but can't play acoustic guitar. Your dick is probably filled with chlamydia.
I thought he went second.
That's why your comments.
Even if he did go second, that's a pretty good place to end it. You can't follow the song, so you gotta end it there. Number 7 battle this week. A lot going on there.
A lot going on.
Like I said,
there,
very
Pat.
very divisive. I see it from all angles. I get the good. I get the they took some risks, man. And I feel like that's been a theme this year. A lot of people trying like some stuff that they wouldn't have tried previously. The Jeopardy board. Oh, you weren't here for the Jeopardy episode. My God. But a lot of risk being taken, and in this case, Steph with the intervention kind of angle, and then the song at the end. She was killing it. Rory did great. What were your thoughts?
Well, it was kind of hard to hear. I will say that. But as a professional, you have to get through this because you guys want to know how we feel about it, or you're just going to speed this part up. Now, Steph, I love the theme. Obviously, I love a big theme, and she did it with as many jokes as they did. But they both kind of had a similar dry, slow style that, as you know, as a millennial, I couldn't really my attention. It couldn't keep the focus so much. Right, Rory had some big punchlines that got me back into it. Steph's Dear Rory thing, right? Like Dear Abby was cool. And then the song at the end obviously is great. Steph had big punches. She's a great joke writer, you can obviously tell. But I was very bored.
Fair. Yeah, I mean the sound was tough. I mean we've talked about, in past weeks how like I watch these without the headphones and then here because I don't know how it's 9 weeks in and I don't know how to split a pair of AirPods. So we have one AirPod in each ear, which is a psychotic way to do this, but like, so if the sound is not on point, it affects more in the studio, I feel like. When I was watching this at home, I felt like Steph killed it and was clearly a step ahead of Rory, and that was the feeling in the room. You even heard Rory say,
Right.
We already know who won. Listening on the headphones, even the one where his mic didn't work and he went sort of a cappella, like Rory was a lot clearer and easier to understand, I thought. So,
yeah, and some big punches too. Some big Australian. I mean the Asian thing was crazy. That was a crazy thing that I hope
wild.
we're probably going to get canceled and we'll make more followers for.
Yeah. I mean, the battle had a little bit of everything. There were homophobic slurs. There was the R word. There was the other R word.
Nar? Is that the
nar,
joke? Is that the
yeah.
joke that we're using, right? Ryan
nar
Essen, we're
word.
taking your jokes.
I love it. So yeah, that was kind of all over the place. Some people absolutely loved it. Some people felt a little bit like you did. The pacing was definitely a little bit slower. That was not all these battles today, but on the 12 that we watched, or the 14, excuse me, there were some marathons in there. And a lot of them didn't make the countdown, but one piece of feedback I got a lot was, holy shit, I'm exhausted after watching all that. Watching 14 battles in a row is a lot, especially when some of them are moving kind of at that pace. But
Dedicated to the committee you are. You guys love this.
we love it. That's why we do it. Sydney on the board gets a point as they continue to try to remain in the league. Shout out to Berlin, by the way, who is now in first in the WRBL. Berlin coming up strong. Who will they be replacing if they make it? We're going to find out by the end of the season. Let's keep it going right now, though, with the number 6.
Should we say that international battlers take this more seriously and they kind of have a different, je ne sais quoi, right? I mean, like our first MVP was the UK.
I
right?
feel like yes. Yeah, the first MVP was UK.
Yamaki won
Second
the
one
other
was
thing.
also UK.
Yeah.
Yamaki won. Career most appearances on the podcast. It goes
Cullen and
Regal and Cullen, and then
yeah.
Shalaka's right behind them. Fantasy points, which we started doing for the league, the top 3 in that are all international. What I'll say
got
is,
you got some foreigners. Look at you. Then you got that Euro trash.
absolutely, my fantasy team's killing it. You're ahead of Jay, by the way. I don't know if you know that, but I think the peak of international play is a little bit higher. The stars, but the actual teams, and we'll see the standings at the end. This season has been pretty thoroughly dominated by the Americans in terms of team play and ranking in the battles and everything like that. And we expanded the ranking committee to add more international people because that was one of their things last year. They're like, oh, yeah, the Americans aren't getting the references. So I'm like, okay, let's add more international people. And it's kind of the same story. So, but I mean, honestly, you have the top 10. I'll put it this way. If you took the top 10 from America, put them against the top 10 internationally, I think you'd have a fight. I think when you get through 11 through 20 versus 11 through 20, I think the Americans start to pull away, and by 21 down.
21.
Yeah, exactly. This is like the one gorilla versus 100 men. James Regal's the gorilla, and you know what I'm saying?
No.
Okay,
That's a reach.
made sense in my head.
But Adam Silver, if you're watching
it's topical right now, so I tried to shoehorn it in there.
No, it was good. I mean, it was a good reach, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I was like, okay, we're getting topical. But Adam Silver, if you're watching, and I know you are, take some lessons from the roast battle here. Put those internationalers against those Americaners and figure out and have an apartheid. Figure it out.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. All right, let's keep it going now with the number 6 battle. And now, of course, we're over to the States because it's better than number 7, and the States are better than international. So, that's what we're doing here. This is a city that has really, talked a lot of shit over the last couple of years, and for the most part, backed it up in the early season. Second half is where they start to fade. Can they hang on this year? They came into today in a tie for first in the American West. I'm talking about the Bay Area. Today, they're going to pick up 2 points with a familiar face that we've seen quite a bit on the podcast versus somebody that I believe is making his RBL Weekly debut. This is Logan Far against DJ Sandhu. Here it is.
Ladies, you might recognize DJ from trying to rip you out of an Uber after bar close. DJ, you're kind of dressed like you behead kids for missing a kickflip.
You're just jealous of the kids for being able to do a kickflip. I'm hoping to get a win tonight, so Logan leaves the same way that he arrived, defeated. I'm kidding. Look, honestly, everybody focuses on his legs, but he's more than just an amputee. He's also a fucking loser. Yeah, a loser of limbs. Am I right? Am I right with that?
California, you have to stop it. You started gentrifying the Muslims. Did you guys know the Taliban came in designer? Do you know what DJ stands for? Doing jihads.
Thank you, Lieutenant Clan. Logan's parents are divorced. He's also divorced. His mom left his dad when he was 5. His wife left him when he was 25, and his feet left him when he couldn't shut up about CrossFit.
Too real. Fun fact about DJ, he is a swinger.
Damn.
Yeah, I know.
I knew I recognized you.
His nickname is the GOAT. Not because he's good at it, it's the partner he brings. I'm sorry, guys, that joke was bad.
Is that the end of it?
Yeah.
I don't want to cut you short. The light rail already did that. I'm not Sack RT. Logan's a good comic. You've been doing it 5 years, 6 years?
Yep, 5 years.
5 years, and his career's starting to take off. He's actually going to be doing a few movies. The first one is an ADA compliant version of the Hurt Locker called The Foot Locker. The second one is a rom-com where he ends up leaving his bride at the altar called Cold Feet. And the third one is a documentary where he gets reunited with his legs. It's called Found Footage.
It means very differently if I blow up versus you blow up. You said a bunch of nice things right there. DJ is battling suicidal depression, and like I already told you, he's a swinger. So he's going to be remembered for both those things for the same thing. Blowing it early.
I'll be honest, you were doing better on the first half, but I guess you are known for losing the second leg. Logan trains and coaches jiu-jitsu. He has a gay cousin, and his dad was a cop in Baltimore. Yeah, so they all like getting black men in rear naked chokes, but for very different reasons.
Who doesn't?
Logan does it professionally, his cousin does it romantically, and his dad does it to remind people who the superior race is.
I'm built like that joke, black on bottom, white on top. Fun fact about DJ, he has 3 DUIs. 3 DUIs! Yeah! I would trust you more as a pilot.
So the number 6 battle, a little bit different from number 7. Number 7, a lot of like big swings and crazy risks. This one was, and I say this in the nicest way possible, but like pretty much a like paint by numbers formulaic roast battle. This is kind of like what we're used to. Just jokes, good pace, back and forth. What'd you think?
Yeah, I like it. It was classic. It was a classic tit for tat that we see old school roast battle style. Logan Far, I gotta say, he does the best silly racist jokes I've ever heard. I mean, the way he can flip a race joke and make it silly and funny. I mean, I've heard people say this before, but racism it can only be acceptable when it's funny, and it's a hard feat. To get to, but Logan does a great job every time. I always enjoy watching him. He's a great dance partner. DJ Sandu, I know him as a comic. I know him as a dude. I was excited to see him. He's battled before in the belly. It's good to see him back. That guy is a punchline machine, and that was great. I was on display that whole battle, and that was a lot of fun. If that's number 6, I'm excited to see what 5 through 1 is. Yeah. So, I mean, solid week. There's not a bad battle in the bunch here. There's a little something for everybody. I feel like this was one where I liked it. I feel like a couple of the jokes could have been tightened just a little bit. I feel like if they took an extra... Are you saying they had no legs?
No, that's not what I'm saying. And how dare you put those words in my mouth? If I want to make bad references, I'll do it on my own. I don't need your help. No, I think that there were just a couple where I'm like, man, that could have been tightened up. Both of their closers. I don't remember what Logan's. No, not his, because his closer was the DUI thing. Whatever he did the time before that, and I wish I could remember it. I made a mental note, but I have ADHD. But it was just like a little tight, and then DJ's last one, I loved how ambitious it was. Like, but I kind of got lost a little bit in so both him and his brother and his father do this thing, and then he does it because blah, 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 and his brother does it because blah, 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 and his dad does it because blah. Like, all the pieces were there, but I just feel like it could have been a little bit tighter, or maybe even just like 2.
It could have been more of a instead of a rear naked choke, more of a knee on the neck. That way that joke can't move and it's tight.
Right.
But yes, I hear you on that. I like the structure and he's not always on the countdown. So, and I know he doesn't always battle. And Logan is like a consistent. He's a consistent boxer in there. So seeing him, I think I'm just kind of giving him the benefit of the doubt. But you're right. A lot of those jokes could have been tighter. But I think he was going for a theme, kind of like old girl was in the battle before. And his thing was basically just kind of trying to get enough feet wordplay or losing your feet, puns in there. I think
Yeah.
he might have got lost in the sauce in that sense.
For sure, but I mean, he had a couple of great ones.
Yeah.
He had a couple of great ones. Losing the second leg and everything like that. Lieutenant Clan, I thought was really
Fun
funny.
one, fun play on words.
And Logan, a lot of the more fun stuff in that battle was even the off the cuff stuff, like when he did the swinger thing and DJ, the guy in the crowd, wooed, and he was like, I knew you from somewhere.
Oh,
like,
great, yeah.
That's great. I did love DJ's opener where he's like, he's a fucking loser of limbs, and then he just starts like dapping people up in the front. I love dumb shit like that when it's done well. I thought this was a fun battle.
His name's DJ doing jihads. I mean, just silly, easy, fun. I mean, like it's a good jab to like set up something else. I really appreciate those guys.
Yeah, this was definitely a week where, and we've had this a lot the last few weeks, I feel like, where number 1 and number 2 were clear.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything else was kind of like in a race for, depending on the ballots. Some people had it 3, some people had it 9, and, vice versa. 1 and 2 were clear, and we'll talk about it when we get there. But, 3 through 7 are a little bit like people are going to have mixed opinions, and this one is going to be another one. When we talk about sound, this is not a city that has issues with their sound. This is a battler that has an issue with an accent.
Oh.
This is also a very cool moment for me personally. We started, the Roast Battle Patreon maybe like a year ago. And one of the things we started doing were the Patreon Zoom battles where battlers could go in and go against each other. And this season, several of those people who were not comedians have made their on-stage debuts as roast battlers. Mitch D in Cleveland came very close to making the countdown a few weeks ago. Chrissy Healy has battled in Dallas and in Austin in the WRBL and the RBL. Ken Daly has battled in New Orleans. We've had a lot of people, and we got a couple more on the books. I love the Patreon community. Shout out to John Tong, who we saw in Seattle. He hung out with us. Big fan of that guy. But this is the first guy to come from the Patreon and make the official RBL Weekly countdown.
That's awesome.
Very, very cool. Very
Graduation.
exciting. This is a guy that we met in London at the World Championship. He is a Scottish professional wrestler in a luchador mask. Because, of course, why wouldn't he be? His name is Lucha DS, and he is going up against perhaps this season's MVP. I think the MVP race early on is at 2 people, and we're going to see both of them today. This is the 5th appearance in the first 9 weeks of the season for James Regal as he leads the Barcelona charge into first place in the International West. They come in 5th this week for a battle that I really enjoyed, and if you concentrate and you listen and try to interpret, I think you'll enjoy it too. It's number 5 this week, James Regal versus Lucha DS from Barcelona. Barcelona versus Scotland. They both get points. Here it is.
How you doing? Calm yourselves. I was actually worried that this battle wouldn't take place tonight after Monday's national emergency. I was in Scotland scared, while James was here loving it. Loving the fact that his flat was just like the girls he's into. Blackout and powerless.
That was a much better joke than you guys gave credit for. That was really good. I hope you understood that. Lucha sounds like that, actually, because he's got this very incurable disease that shortens his lifespan. He's Scottish. He told me he knows how to speak sign language as well, which is crazy, because surely you should have mastered language first.
This is James Regal, and with a name Regal, it shouldn't surprise you they went to an all-boys private school. But in Scotland, a Regal is a cigarette that you snap to build a joint. So even though Regal may sound posh, ultimately it's just a broke fag.
Let's go, Lucha.
You're ready to go, man.
Let's go to 101. How slow is he? Play on slow.
He went there. I might be a broke fag. You look like you've dressed up to rob a sperm bank. So, despite appearances, this isn't an autistic kid's Fortnite avatar. Lucha is actually... Lucha's actually a Scottish pro wrestler. Man, I thought comedy was hard. Imagine trying to entertain Scottish people with fake fighting. And in many ways, Lucha, you were born for that job. Wrestling is a perfect career for someone who can only count to 3.
Fuck you. Before coming to Barcelona, I was just in Germany doing a wrestling match. I was wrestling in a venue that was built in 2008. And when I was finished, I had 10 missed calls from James. And when I answered the call, he didn't want to know how the show went. He didn't want to know how my match went. He just wanted me to tell him what it was like to slide in and out of a 17-year-old ring.
As if I need you to tell me that. Oh, you're getting personal. Fine. Well, Lucha told me his parents were both violent alcoholics. Yeah, I get it. You're Scottish. Lucha suffered a lot of domestic abuse growing up. Now he spends his life competing for the belt. Well, as a kid, he was mostly trying to avoid it. His parents beat him up, that's what I'm saying.
James is divorced. James and his wife got divorced after she cheated on him with multiple sailors. She's just like that little submarine that tried to go down to the Titanic. Because she was also a blown out wreck filled with multiple men's DNA that's not coming back.
Right?
I wish you'd written my speech in the divorce proceedings, because that was fucking great. That was so good. Lucha here has an 11-year-old son. At least that's what he's trained him to tell meddling strangers. Lucha also does private appearances at kids' parties, and sometimes he's even invited to them.
You've got to get paid. I mean, James is a liar. When me and James were getting ready for this roast battle, he sent me some information. And one of the facts he sent me said that he supports Tottenham Hotspur, and they are a good team. No. When in real life they're actually dog shit. But what James doesn't know is the Tottenham manager, Ange Postecoglou, before he went to Tottenham, was the manager of Glasgow Celtic. And I actually done a wrestling show for his 3 boys and became friendly with the manager and knew I was coming here, so he sent me a wee voice note.
Hi, Lucha, my friend. I hear you're in Barcelona. Hopefully you win there, something I could never do. Taking on James Regal at Roast Battle. I hear James Regal's ex-wife is the only person to have managed to score with more men than I have. Oh, James, if you hear this, mate, fuck you.
Let's go, Spurs.
Was that you doing the accent with the team of boys? Fuck you, mate. Sounds like Michelle first thing in the morning at home. So like lucha's a Spanish word, right? It means fighter, right? And lucha from lucha libre means free. Something Scotland will never be, by the way. So I'll close on this. Lucha's mum died of cancer. His dad died of a heart attack, and his brother committed suicide. Man, he was gutted. He's the only one in his family who hasn't met the Undertaker yet.
Yes!
All right, that might be the most awkward ending of the season to a really, really good battle. Regal, I mean, we've talked about obviously a lot. 5 appearances in 9 weeks, 15 now on his career. Takes that lead back from Ryan Cullen, who tied him up 2 weeks ago or whatever. They just keep going back and forth. I'm sure Cullen versus Nesson will retie it at some point, but Regal is obviously incredible against a variety of opponents. This was my first time really properly watching a lucha battle. They submitted one from the Glasgow Comedy Festival a couple weeks ago, and the sound was so bad you couldn't really hear it. Here, I heard enough, even with the accent, to understand everything. That dude has some really well-written jokes, and I feel like a proud dad. He started writing those jokes in the Zoom chats.
Should.
You know?
That guy really focuses on enunciating because he wants to be great at this.
Yes.
And you can tell that speaking that dialect is a little harder for him, but he nailed it, I thought. And I thought he was in his bag. I got to say it. Lucha went in his bag. The voice note was funny.
Yeah.
The broken stick joke was funny, I thought, because that's a play on words there with the slur. I thought he did textbook roast battling, and I thought he did a really good job, and especially because trying to get there to make sure everybody can hear you so you can win that battle. I thought he was in 2 battles, right, with language and then obviously against James Regal there.
Yeah.
But now I'll say this. James Regal, holy shit, my man.
Yeah.
You're in a zone I haven't seen since maybe Shalaka and Jack Trainer last year. You are, I mean, you're miles ahead right now as far as MVP. You're doing so well. And I want to introduce this, Pat. I mean, because they have this in basketball. They talk about the 2-way player, right? Even in baseball.
Sure.
You know, a hitter and then, obviously fielder. Basketball is defense and offense. He does such a good job of letting everything roll off of him, especially when he's a dance partner with somebody. And he's like, he may not be that strong. He may not be as strong as me because obviously James has, he's a superhero. But everything can roll off him, and he's such a good defender when he comes to like somebody saying something about him. Like he gets a pedophile joke every time. He gets a "you're probably a gay" joke every time, right? And the way he can just flip it and obviously not make the crowd feel awkward, kind of like maybe a Nate Welch or Ryan Nesson do with like that kind of a thing. It's like, hey man, we're in a roast battle, like play with it. And he does such a good job of defending, but not getting offended.
Yes.
And that's what I mean by him being a 2-way player.
And elevating the battle. I wish you could have seen last week because we talked a lot about your boy AJ Leidig, who was on the countdown twice, became the 4th person to ever do that. And in the number 1 battle, to be clear, you haven't seen the Jeopardy battle, right?
No, I have not.
Okay, so he battled against Tom Ryan, and Tom Ryan made a whole Jeopardy board. And it was a thing that if you wanted to win the battle, you would bury it and be like, this is stupid. But AJ wanted to have the best battle possible, and he really elevated it to a place where it became one of the most entertaining battles I've seen in a long, long time. I think it's going to be a competitor for Battle of the Year. And he lost the battle, but he was a big part of the reason the battle was so good. Regal is the same way. Lucha opened with a joke that didn't really hit but was very good, and Regal immediately was like, that joke is better than you guys are giving it credit for. I want to read feedback I got from the world champion Jay Yamaki, who's one of the people who ranks these. And he said, kind of a dead crowd for Barcelona. Kudos to James for hyping up his opponent. Some great jokes, solid performance from James. Lucha was fun. That's the kind of stuff that when you've seen a lot of these battles, you notice because you are up there doing a dance and it is your job to elevate your opponent. James does a great, great, great job of elevating. When Lucha had that one about his wife and the submarine, the Titanic, and he's like, I wish I had you writing the speech for my divorce proceedings. That was beautiful. He's just hyping it up. He's not trying to win a battle. He's trying to have the best battle possible. And Lucha is the same way. I'm not sure Lucha's ever won a battle on Patreon or on stage. He's 0-3 this season in the RBL. I think he's 0-for in the Patreon, but like he's the ultimate example of like it doesn't matter, we don't care. Was the battle entertaining? And it was. They were both great dance partners. I thought it went really well. When James sent this over, he asked me ahead of time, he's like, Lucha's very difficult to understand. Should I put subtitles on the battle? And I was like, I don't even know how to answer that.
Funny.
I was like, I'm leaning no, but like, I don't know. We've never had one on the podcast with subtitles. And then I listened. I was like, I understood every word because he did slow down. He did enunciate. He's clearly a performer in the wrestling world, and elements of that translate. Pacing in the ring, you can't go too fast or you'll kill your opponent. You can't go too fast up there or you'll lose the crowd. I thought they both did a great job.
Shout out Ollie wearing that championship belt right there. RBL Barcelona champ.
That's
Ollie
right.
Brasso.
While sitting right next to Stuart Kennedy, the man he beat to retain the belt.
It's a flex.
That's got to hurt, yeah. So Barcelona picks up 3 points. Scotland, 1.5. Early on, Barcelona making a statement in that West. Will we see Scotland later in the countdown? Will they double dip this week? We will find out. But for now,
shout out Lucha, the two-way player right now, huh? WRBL and RBL debut. Good job, my guy. He is such a fan, and he's gonna become a legend at this. I as well as being a Scottish luchador. But he's a big target. He's fun to play with, so I'm excited to see more of him, and I'm sure I will.
If there's any career path that's less certain than being a Scottish luchador, it's got to be a Scottish luchador roast battler. I feel like you're fighting an uphill battle at that point, but he's on his way. He's got the jokes, so we'll see how that pans out for him. But great debut, and James Regal, his 15th career RBL battle, the new record holder in that category. Let's move now to another city versus city battle. This one stateside. We're going to Cleveland. Cleveland, one of the last cities to get on the rankings. They came in 6th last week, picked up 2 points. This week, they come in 4th. They pick up 4. They are officially out of the gutter. They are right on the heels now of Atlanta. They're going to be 1 point behind. And this is also 2 points for Austin, Texas. This is a Cleveland versus Austin battle, and it's also noteworthy because it was the 3,000th battle in the history of the Roast Battle League. That is insane to say. I can't believe that's a real sentence I just said. The 3,000th battle in 2+ seasons. This is Chris Paul from Cleveland going up against Mike Eaton from Austin, Texas. Here it is.
You know what time it is. Battle! 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 Battle!
Yeah, give it up for Mike for being here. He's got to get home and shed his skin because it's time to start over again. He used to be Kevin James.
Sure wouldn't be here. The most surprising part about Chris being a dad is that he came in something that was alive.
2 times. Twice. Yeah, let's hear it for Mike one more time. Mike is, I feel bad because he's here all weekend headlining, and his mom's not here to make him a warm glass of milk before bed.
Thank you, undertake what he can get.
Mike is weirdly close to his mom. He was born cesarean, but he was raised vaginal.
I still visit from time to time. I can tell that you guys didn't understand the Undertaker joke. Chris transports bodies to a morgue. I'm going to tell more jokes about that later, but that's just crazy. Like, awesome. Okay, that's weird. I don't know. He was telling me all these facts about himself, and I was like, Jesus Christ, you know? Chris is also bisexual, which means he has to wait for everybody at the morgue to say bye before he gets sexual with the bodies.
I'm bisexual, but I still look tougher than Mike would suck a dick than he does fucking women.
The scat man.
Oh my God, shut up. Don't you have to go out in the winter wearing shorts and pretending it's not a big deal?
I gotta show off these thick calves.
Mike, this guy Mike lost 50 pounds recently. Yeah, give it up for him. He did it using black market Ozempic he bought from his coke dealer. Yeah. Which means this fat piece of shit had access to coke and he still needed Ozempic to lose weight.
Sorry, I used it to drink a milkshake really, really fast. I got a business idea. Go to get a burger. Chris's dad died very tragically of throat cancer. I know, very sad. But Chris still honors him by living after his last words. Never use shampoo.
Is Mike, It takes like 12 hours to get greasy. It's crazy. Mike, fun fact about Mike, he has very disgusting cum. We found out he was on Kill Tony. He told a story about how his girlfriend threw up while giving him a blowjob. Yeah.
Wasn't from length.
That's right. While doing blow and getting drunk, this chunky spunk made his girlfriend blow her chunks.
Terrible poetry. You look like Mark Maron peaked at the Ark of the Covenant. Chris's mom is ran through. His words, not mine. And now he works transporting people for a morgue. He's just trying to get a higher body count than his mom. It's roast battle, fucking losers. Oh, very sad. His mom's a whore. Shut up.
How many half-brothers do you guys have? Mike has a tattoo of a donut in the style of the Simpsons cartoon, which makes sense because his whole body's made of dough.
You look like you correct people. It's actually neurodivergent clown posse. Like I told you, Chris's mom's a whore, and his dad died of throat cancer. So I'm just trying to figure out which mouth did more damage to his childhood.
I can't believe I have to take this from a man that has a pig's tail for a dick.
Oink, oink, bitch. That's fine, yeah!
All right, number 4 battle this week. Cleveland versus Austin. Chris Paul versus Mike Eaton. Thoughts?
2 of the heavy hitters in the league. We talked to Chris, obviously, a lot. Mike is, he runs the WRBL and DFW, and he's an Austin battler.
Yeah.
Is in contention for MVP this season. You can tell why. He's just kind of playing with his food a little bit. Chris Paul, I think he's coming up a lot this season. I like what he's been doing. He really hypes up a lot of his Cleveland battles. And he hypes up a lot of other Cleveland battles. He was pissed they didn't make the list a couple weeks ago when their guy beat Tom Goss. So he's always pumping up this league.
No. Their guy did not beat Tom Goss. We can't spread that rumor.
Really? Okay.
Tom won.
Oh.
But it did not make the countdown.
Right. Yeah. But it was good though. So it went to overtime. He said, I think.
It was good.
Okay,
it went to overtime. Dave Herron did a very good job.
Okay.
But we gotta.
My bad. So, but
can't throw our champ under the bus like
but
that.
They go hard for their city. They say they have the best damn roast battle podcast out there. This is Cleveland, so Chris is always going hard for this city. He put up a hell of a fight against Mike. This was fun, man.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good battle. I thought there were hits and misses. I laughed out loud definitely watching it. A couple times, which is like a key for me. It's hard to get me to laugh out loud after seeing so many fucking battles. But I thought they both had good stuff. The cum poem didn't totally connect for me. There were a couple in there, and Chris flubbed the one rebuttal. I think little technical things like that probably won Mike the battle. Overall, I thought it was solid. I understand the placement at 4. I think again all of these are kind of in the same range, and it's like, do you like kind of like bigger swings? Do you like more the same way I said that Logan and DJ was like a classic roast battle,
right?
You know what I mean? This followed the formula of a classic roast battle, just two people who are really good at this and kind of doing what they do. And shout out to Mike. Like last week he was number 2 on the countdown battling Eric in New York. He's getting out on the road. He's battling everywhere that he can. He's picking up points for Austin on the road. By the way, should we talk about the development in Austin, or should we save that?
We should save for. I mean, we'll get to it because I still want to talk about this battle because I think it was great. Because I think when you talk about the ranking and where it's put, I think right now every battle is where it's supposed to be, and this is a tougher one because they kind of look alike. And, usually two white guys is kind of hard to kind of make fun of, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to dig a little deeper than just going for, you're gay, you're a pedophile. Obviously, Chris is a bigger target because he's got the tats and he's bi, and he grew up like a real church kid, in like the South. So I think Mike did a good job of playing with a lot of those things and didn't really go surface level a lot. So I think when, two guys kind of look like, honestly, they look alike. It's almost like Mike just took glasses off and put a hat on, and that's Chris, basically. They're looking at each other like the Spider-Man meme.
Which is really a statement to Mike's weight loss or Chris's weight gain. Because last season, we couldn't have said that.
Right, yeah. Chris was real skinny, and Mike was real big, yeah. So it's, damn, they just swapped.
Yeah, and, Mike with his occupation, or excuse me, Chris with his occupation, you don't have to go pedophile. You can go necrophile.
Right.
Which is nice. So thank you to Chris for making that a possibility in the league. And I just want to say also the joke that really kind of like crept up on me was the shampoo thing.
Right.
Because he set up this whole thing. He mentioned the cause of death, which, you hear certain things in your head as a joke writer and you're like, well, that's going to come back. He's like, Chris's father tragically died of throat cancer. So I don't know about you, but in my head, I'm like, all right, there's like a throat, something coming up.
I thought like a dick sucking joke was coming.
And then he led into it. He's like, his last words, never use shampoo. And it's like, why did you mention the throat cancer? But it was like a red herring. It took me a minute to be like, oh, I guess there's no throat thing. And then I just looked at his hair and I'm like, oh, that's actually really funny. So it was like a slow build for me. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. They both had a lot of good stuff. Congratulations to Cleveland for 2 weeks in a row making the countdown.
Yeah, good shit.
After 7 weeks in a row of missing, I said all along, you get off the schneid, you get that 0 away from your name. And all of a sudden, maybe you can get a little bit of breathing room. And when we look at, the standings for who is in danger of falling out of the league, obviously the 6 that they have now looks a lot better than the 0. And
you got a fighter's chance. You got a puncher's chance.
Exactly. And not saying anybody should be in week 9 like, well, we can't make the playoffs, but realistically, if you're in single digits at this point, you're keeping an eye on the bottom of the rung, I think, more than the top.
And we appreciate Mike Eaton going out there and bringing some of these other cities up with him. Like Austin's is full of talent and going out there and like getting these other cities involved to get them on the countdown so other people can see that these cities exist. It really does help the league. So thank you, Mike.
Yeah, Mike booked that Frontier Pass where he could fly anywhere Frontier flies for $1. So if you are booking a battle in a city that Frontier flies to, and you want to get Mike Eaton, hit him up. I'm sure he would love to come do it. I don't want to speak for him, but
Seattle's one of them, yeah.
There you go. So we'll keep it moving right now, and we will go to the number 3 battle, and this is one that we were both in the room for. This is one that, boy, you want to talk about sort of polarizing and chaos and everything like that. I'm excited to watch you relive it and get your thoughts, because I had a lot of thoughts from the committee. People are all over the place on this one. I'll let you guys be the judge. It's the number 3 battle this week. It is from L.A. It is your favorite and mine, DeHerm. Brian Moses' fantasy draft pick going up against Jay Light's fantasy draft pick, Jay Light. DeHerm versus Jay Light, number 3. Here it is.
Let's roll!
The Herm's only TV credit was when he was on the news for seeing a leprechaun in Mobile, Alabama.
All right. That was cute.
Thank you.
That was cute. Hey, give it up for Ned Flanders' daughter. Nigga ugly as hell. He actually, y'all know this though, but he celebrates J-Light savings. It's when twice a year he set the clock back on his career. We seen that fall back. We can see it. But what's the spring forward? Roast battle judge?
Shut your stained shirt ass up, Herman.
I didn't catch
He's wearing the same clothes he had on yesterday. This is embarrassing.
That was it? Oh, that was crazy.
No, that's not it.
I'm about to say.
That was my fucking rebuttal.
Don't end that weak-ass rebuttal. Nigga.
All right. DeHerm wrote a children's book based on his life. It's called The Little N-Word That Could.
Oh, that was bad. That was super bad. Give it up for Dick Lovin' right here. This nigga ugly as hell.
Shut my gay ass up.
Your ass up. You
Shut your dirty pants having ass up.
Whoa,
Herman.
whoa. I'm not finished.
That's okay.
The Dick Lovin' was you. You get your fat ass glass off your face.
I got him flustered.
Nah, look at it. This man he's queer-sided. He don't see straight. He put the bi and bifocals. Get your fat glasses ass out of here, nigga. Yeah, nigga.
That's good.
He's claustrophobic. Looking at it. Thought you had it.
Oh my God. I'm glad you haven't called me racist. I would tell Herm to bite the curb, but it looks like he already did.
That better not be it. Oh man, that's crazy. Give it up for Napoleon Firecracker. Man,
that was bad.
It's not finished though.
You got another joke in your
He
pockets,
is
I hope.
racist.
Shit.
This man is racist. This man is, cause he always say I'm from the hood, a black hood. You
I
from
didn't say
a white
any
hood.
of that.
Yeah, you did. This man,
East Nashville.
this man got the N-word written on the inside of his glasses that only he can see. He got enigmatism.
That's good. That's a good joke.
I do got enigmatism.
I like that joke.
So ugly ass out of here.
Oh my fucking God. Listen, it's getting heated up here, and I want you guys to know there's no real animosity here tonight, okay? It's all water under the bridge. Sure, it is water that he can doggy paddle in the bridge he lives under, but it is... The Herm is homeless. He actually got arrested once for having sex in a car, which... That's not fair. You should be able to do whatever you want in the privacy of your own home. Shut your homeless ass up, Herman.
Oh, wow. This is going bad for you.
You got mold on your pants right now.
It is my time.
Shut your moldy ass up.
You look like you shoot up schools with a wand. Get your stupid ass out of here. Get up a Harry Plotter.
Keep it going for Medea's tapeworm, everybody.
With a Quidditch broom. You ugly as hell.
Keep it going for Waluigi and blackface, everybody.
Give it up for Dick Moranis. And the new movie called Honey, I Shrunk My Career. Get your stupid ass out of here. Your career is a lot like the kids in your basement. It ain't going nowhere. You know? And soon they'll be dead. Stupid ass out of here.
Oh, my God. This is so much fun.
This is fun. I got to say nigga.
I didn't say it. Jesus Christ. This is fucking crazy. He's got so much audacity. This guy loves black power, can't afford electricity. What's his fucking deal? He's talking so fucking long.
That was your only
keep
good
it going
joke,
for
glasses.
Keep it going for Uncle Filibuster, everybody.
Whoa,
Herm,
I
saw your fucking rap sheet. Haven't you served enough sentences? Why you keep talking? Shut your verbose ass up. You get those pants in jail, they gave you one pocket for every charge.
You said 3-4 jokes, it didn't hit.
I am following in the footsteps of giants like the Herm.
Get your ugly ass back. This man's so white, he got a sunscreen before he turned the microwave on. Which is crazy as hell, though, and it's real ironic that the one thing he's allergic to is his last name. Light.
It's light.
Get your stupid ass. And let me see if I can think of something.
That's it?
No, it's not.
That's it?
Hey, give it up for the IT guy of Epstein's Island. Get your stupid. This man is Jeffrey Dahmer if he only ate light-skinned niggas. That's why they call him J Light.
Look at the Herm's face. The Herm, shut your goofy ass up, Herman. You look like when you come, you go, gosh.
Okay, that's
you know what's
good
crazy? The Herm grew up with a dad and still turned out like this. That's fucking insane. You stanky ass Herman. The Herm's breath is so bad. You look like you floss with a whip.
Hey man, if it's
I'm
not
not
hit,
done.
it don't
I'm
hit.
not done.
You did 7 jokes. It's not. It's chuckles. Just let it go. Like your career. Let it
DeHerm's
go.
talking with his. I gotta stand
You let
over
it
here.
go.
DeHerm's breath is so bad when he gets arrested, the cops are the ones saying I can't breathe.
God dang. Them cute ass dad jokes. That's ugly as hell. You know, stinking ass son. This man.
What kind of pedophile, gay glasses
Light,
joke you got coming
stinking
for
ass
me?
back, Jay Light. You look like a used car salesman that only sells unicycles with no seat.
And you look like you look like you couldn't afford the shit anyway.
Your ugly ass back. So, isn't it? Nah, it's not it. Matter of fact, you did 17 jokes.
So did you.
Jay Light is named after Fleshlight. Cause he's an asshole and he's filled with his dad's cum.
That was bad. DeHerm talks so much.
I'm not
but
done
so
with
do
that.
I. No, we're good.
Wait, there's more.
Wow. Those rooms!
I wrote a few of them. So, is it a minute or what? Just keep going. Just go for a minute? Just go. Back and forth. Go for a minute. That's what I wrote down. Give it up for this refurbished Andy Dick. This nigga ugly as hell. This nigga ugly as hell. Nigga, he look like he says, no more Mr. Nice Guy during sex. This nigga ugly as hell. This nigga put the autism and stigmatism. This nigga stupid. Get your stupid ass out of here. You're not even a Jehovah's Witness. You a Jehovah's snitch. Get your stupid ass out of here, nigga. You ugly as hell, nigga. Hold on.
DeHerm's been doing comedy 14 years, which is how long it took him to tell 2 jokes. You look like the first slave you can buy on StockX. It comes with the shoes.
Oh wow. Oh wow. You look like your condoms have suspenders on it. So stupid ass.
You look like you exclusively refer to women as females. Get your misogynist ass out of here, Herman.
Get your Home Alone looking at. You look like all your pets have astigmatism. Nigga. Like, why the cat got glasses? Get your stupid ass out of here.
Can
nigga.
you guys tell that astigmatism was DeHerm's word of
You
the
like a
day
milkman.
on his phone today?
This nigga look like he nicknamed all his pencils.
Keep it going for Jay Light, DeHerm.
I want to read real quick feedback from 3. These are all top 20 battlers in the world, probably. This was how different it went. The first one ranked this battle number 2.
Oh, wow.
And said it was funny how Jay tried to do DeHerm thing against him, but DeHerm was weirdly tight, so it didn't really work. I thought it was very entertaining, and DeHerm legitimately crushed. From another guy, ranked at number 6. Hated the rhythm and talking over each other. DeHerm fucking things up as usual. Jay Light did well, wore DeHerm down. Some great jokes from both of them, though. Wish DeHerm would let the battle breathe, so some of his jokes could too. And then last thing from another highly respected top 20 person, they had this ranked 8th. This battle is wild because it really showcases the divide between Herm's joke writing and Jay's. I loved every time Jay said, "Shut your dumbass up, Herman." It's wild that DeHerm just keeps declaring he's winning. The end of this is wild. Let me see if I could think of something. Blah, 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 blah. How this went to overtime, I have no idea, but if I was Jay, I'd be offended. LOL.
Interesting.
So, as you could see, all over the place, 3 people I really respect. One had it 2nd and thought DeHerm crushed. One had it 6th and thought it was close, but DeHerm was fucking up the rhythm. And one had it 8th and thought Jay dominated. Where are you at?
You know, I played this battle back a lot, and we talked about this, obviously, right after it. And shout out Jay Light because he did something that I'd never seen before. DeHerm runs a roast-style show called Roast Pit on a show called The Jump Off, which is a really dope show here in L.A. It's at the Improv once a month. And it's a segment they have where DeHerm just kind of does a speed roast a la Jeff Ross. And Jay Light was there. So Jay Light got to see, and kind of just sponge up DeHerm's style. And then he became DeHerm. He was literally white-faced DeHerm that whole time. I thought he literally was DeHerm with more structured roast battle style jokes. So I can see where the roast battlers who do this a lot are like, yes, that structure should always be something like that where a guy's trying to railroad you, right? But I didn't like the talking over each other. That did lose points. I like where it's actually at on the ranking because that makes a lot of sense. But I think in the room, I didn't think Jay did DeHerm style, but played back. I thought he did it and then some. Yeah. Honestly, he had some huge punches. DeHerm did too. DeHerm was flustered. He was flailing. He was. But he also had some great jokes.
He did.
He stepped up too. I mean, like in the room, I was like, wow, I never seen DeHerm come with that many jokes. But he stepped up because and Jeff Ross says this on the episode, he stepped up as well. He tried to write as well as Jay Light. Jay Light flexed with his joke writing style, but he also had to emulate somebody else's style. And I said this on the show before about the two-way player that James Regal is. That's an example of how not to do it. That's being offended when you're just supposed to be you're defending, but you're also supposed to be a good team player because we're doing a dance here, right? Like the Sweet Science is boxing. This is something a little different. This is the sweet funny. We're still supposed to be a funny show. So elevate your opponent in the funniest way possible. Deflecting and doing the not yes and thing, doing the but no thing never helps anybody. And I see this from a lot of battlers, the Ryan Nessens, the Nate Welches, and now DeHerm a lot. It's deflecting and looking defensive is never going to help you, especially play back on the internet like that. Like, who likes that? It doesn't play well.
Yeah.
And I thought Jay was doing DeHerm, and he did it really well. I thought in the room it wasn't that well, but man, Jay played back. That was chef's kiss.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a really entertaining battle, and I don't disagree with any of those perspectives, really. That's the funny thing. Like, I understand where all of them are coming from. I understand why people would either love or hate this battle. You mentioned boxing. My dad used to say something, and I was a kid. I didn't know well enough to, like, have my own opinion on it. And as I've gotten older, I've reviewed the tape, and I don't agree with what my dad was saying, but I get where he was coming from. He said that everybody who ever boxed Mike Tyson and wasn't afraid of him beat him.
Whoa.
Now, you go back and watch Tyson versus McNeely, and McNeely goes charging in like a fucking psych. He was not afraid of Tyson, and he still got his ass whooped. So I wouldn't say it holds up to scrutiny. I wouldn't say it's 100% accurate. But I will say that there was a stigma around Tyson at the time, and the prison probably helped, where it's like, this is the baddest man on the planet. He's terrifying. He knocks everybody out. There were debates like, would you take $1 million to get knocked out by Mike Tyson? And people were saying no.
The Fresh Prince had a song about it. It went platinum, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was this widely accepted thing, but then you look at like Holyfield and Buster Douglas and people like that, and it's like they didn't buy into that narrative, and they stood up to it. Jay Light, not scared to go to DeHerm and do DeHerm style against him.
Right.
And it worked out. I think if you go into a battle with DeHerm and you're just like worried about getting trampled, you're going to get trampled. Tyler Wolf tried it. He didn't quite pull it off as well as Jay, but I think that's kind of where Jay was coming from. He was like, I'm not afraid of this fucking guy. He's going to do his thing. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I think in certain places it elevated the battle. I think in other places it made the battle worse. And I think that's the risk reward that you have to take if you're going to do it that way. There's going to be times where you're talking over each other and it fucks up the rhythm. And there's going to be times where you get legitimately brilliant, kind of like back and forth. I do think there was more good than bad.
Correct.
As a result of that, but it is a sacrifice. I'm not sure DeHerm could have a good battle with somebody who's not stepping up and doing his style.
Right. It's almost like
I don't know.
Jay does this. Let's stick with the boxing thing. It's like he did that Tyson style, that kind of like brawler style. It's like he put his head on his chin, just like, all right, man, if we're going to do this, if we're going to let our hands go, let's let our hands go. And that's what they did. In that boxing analogy, that was letting your hands go. They let those words fly.
Yeah.
Right. And to a point, I was saying this earlier about like Logan Far does the best silly race jokes. Man, Jay Light in the history of this show, of this sport, he always comes with something that is just borderline like, I cannot believe you said that. He is the Eminem of this because he did call the Herman N-word, but he just said the N-word.
Right.
And I think that's the most brilliant, funny way I've ever heard that. You literally called that man the N-word, and you got away with it because it was funny.
And
shout out Jay Light.
And it led to so much confusion because then DeHerm is like, oh, yeah, he called me the N-word. And Jay's like, I didn't say that. But DeHerm was saying the actual word, so technically on a technicality, Jay is correct. But like, your second joke was literally the little N-word that could, which is insane.
Insane, but it worked. I'm sorry.
DeHerm
DeHerm said it didn't, but I'm sorry. And that is the play on words you're looking for, everybody. It's like the shock value thing, the edgelord thing, we get it. We're playing with nuclear weapons when it comes to verbiage. But my God, that's such a funny thing to say to a black dude. And then he's got to come back with, hey, we're not going to hit each other. What you got?
Yeah, Jay went with that. He went with bite the curb. He went with this slave you could buy on StockX.
Well,
And DeHerm was not. DeHerm was more goofy. DeHerm was like, your eyesight.
Right,
Her eyesight's
enigmatism. Yeah, you can only see the N-word. Yeah,
It was
flossing with a whip. Jay Light.
Also, making fun of the guy's career when you are literally homeless that's a wild swing. Like Jay
on the show too, by the way.
Jay has been more successful. You know, a lot of it with like producer jobs and everything, but stuff that really like pays the bills. Jay has been more successful with paying the bills with comedy than 99% of people who ever attempt an open mic will ever be.
Yeah, Jay's still writing in an industry that's lost almost 50% of the writing jobs
I know.
here.
It's
Jay's been
wild.
on television a bunch of times. He just did a movie that's on Hulu right now called The Gutter, written by the Lester brothers, Yasser and his brother.
Herman's literally homeless, and he's like, "What happened to your career?"
Yeah, Jay's got a special right now. It's got over 100,000 views. I don't think Jay is unsuccessful by any means.
Right.
He's
Still
just
funny,
married.
though.
Yeah.
Still funny though.
Yeah.
You know,
Outstanding.
when you're have energy like that, a lot of things can be funny even if they don't totally make sense. It's on the watchbacks. In the room, I was like, that battle was close. By the time you get to the third or fourth watchback, you're like, okay, now it's
It didn't. I take it all back. I was like, man, I thought the Herm was no. I thought Jay Light. Yeah, I thought in the room it didn't play well, but it plays better. I think. Yeah, playback of like, oh no, Jay is. If you understand a Herm, you're gonna love that battle.
This explains why some of the feedback was it was exhausting watching these battles between Australia and what we saw out of LA and and now what do you say we just get to a 3-rounder?
Let's go.
I mean the episode is going to be our longest episode ever, but this is a really quality battle. This is from Chicago. Chicago comes into this week leading the American East Division, leading the RBL in general, and they pick up 6 more points here. They are not going away, and they are being carried by a cast of characters that we did not know last year. And one of them is in this battle. This is the finals of their championship. To me, you said James Regal is an easy MVP at this point. Here is his main competition early on. Tori Ward.
Ooh. Tori
Ward making her 4th appearance on the countdown. She has netted 23 of Chicago's now 40 points. She has had 4 battles, no number ones, but 23 points. You could do the math. That's almost 6 points a battle, and she picks up 6 points this week. She has had an incredible early season, and this is the finals of the tournament. And the guy she's going up against, we're acting like he's an afterthought. He's the guy who won the tournament. He's Matt Sullivan. He's a rookie. He's 5-0. He's the winner of the Chicago tournament. And you're about to see a great battle. It's 3 rounds. Let's just jump into it. Here it is. All right, so editor, we're going to start the first one at 45 seconds. I'm going to pause after each round and then give you a new timestamp before we start. All right, so we're starting at 45 now. Clap and then play.
First round, 5 jokes each. Are you guys fucking ready? 1, 2, 3.
Okay. Hi.
Yeah.
All right. My parents are dead. Matt's parents are alive and together and very proud of him. What a faggot.
My parents are still alive. It's nice. And, that's crazy from someone whose family tree is shaped like a lamppost. Tories from Portland, their slogan is Keep Portland Weird. And even they were like, you need to leave.
Yeah, something's not right with me. Dude, you're gonna have to go with me on this. If Matt fucked a child, hold on. If Matt fucked a child, it'd be like if I fucked a retarded person. You'd be like, it's close enough.
I am built like a child, but Tori's built like a newborn. 7 pounds, 3,000 ounces. Tori looks like the Gerber baby if it was eating all those pennies a day.
Matt would fuck me because I'm built like a Cybertruck. You can go if you want.
Okay. You might notice Tori's kind of moving around on stage a lot. That's because the squirrel she ate earlier is restless. It's a real shame Tori let immigrants take the fall for eating all the pets in Springfield, Ohio. It wasn't Femi.
Matt looks like he wears arm floaties to do a cold plunge. Matt looks like he calls Adderall uppies. If Matt loses this battle, he's gonna go home and slam his bedroom door shut.
I can't slam it. There are too many holes in it already.
Oh, sure there are, buddy.
Tori was a horse girl growing up, which was very hard for her because none of the jockeys ever wanted to ride her.
Last stroke.
Matt didn't know what Blue Chew was, and when he tried it, he just thought, wow, I must really like bubble gum. Okay.
Tori smiles like she's proud of how many teeth she has. And she should be, because earlier I saw her gnawing on a stick.
Give it up for them, everybody. Holy shit. Round one. Buddy, 1, 2, 3.
This is an interesting situation because there's this huge dichotomy between us. Like, I look like the guy Tori sells her Adderall to. And because Tori just pumps out so much nervous energy that this whole thing feels like bad Rain Man. And I gave Tori toothpicks to see if she could count them, but she just kept using them to clean between her toes. And, this is all new for me. Like, I'm 22. I wasn't alive on 9/11, and that day Tori ate an entire cheesecake. When Tori started doing comedy, I was still watching SpongeBob, so it's kind of comforting to be on stage with someone who's built like Mr. Krabs. Which makes sense because the Krusty Krab is also what men call Tori's twat. So I guess all this to say, please elect me class president.
Good joke, Matt. Did your mom pay an Asian kid to write that for you? Okay. All these jokes are going to be about Matt having sex, so a minute might be a little long. Matt makes out with a girl and then asks, "Did you come yet?" Matt looks like he rubs banana peels on his face because that's what he thinks pussy feels like. The word "cum" used to be spelled C-O-M-E. Then a girl had sex with Matt and said, "Oh, that word is far too long for what just happened." Okay, ready? Hold on, I have a little act out. Okay, yeah. This is my impression of someone getting raped by Matt. No, don't. Oh my God, was that it? That is so
That act out, though.
That act out.
Joke Siege, are you ready?
Sweats.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready? Yeah! 1, 2, 3, roll!
Okay. Matt evicts immigrants by saying, no homo. Matt's so racist his footy pajamas have a hood.
Yeah, I look racist, and Tori has blonde hair and blue eyes, so we're in a fierce competition for who's gonna be Hitler's favorite. Tori is pansexual, which means she likes everybody, because it's important for her to cast a real wide net. There are plenty of fish in the sea, and Tori's trying to feast.
Okay. Okay. This summer, Matt pulled his penis out at the beach because he wanted a sunny D.
You know, Tori actually memorized all her jokes. This is just a recipe for later. Tori used to work at a burrito cart. Shocker. She got fired because she kept stirring the horchata with her fist.
Really funny. Okay, great. Okay, this is good. Okay. Matt and I both majored in economics, where we learned about a phenomenon called dead weight loss. Dead weight loss is also what girls call it when they abort Matt's babies.
Yeah, I look like I don't respect women, but Tori's the lady at Planned Parenthood that neither side wants on their team. Tori looks like she's always on the brink of an allergic reaction. That's because the treehouse she lives in has bees.
Okay, that's funny. Okay. Oh, this is gonna be a weird one. No, let's not do that. Okay, you look like if Elon Musk drank from the fountain of Hitler Youth. He tried the carnivore diet, but he just thought it was eating dino nuggies.
Tori did just graduate college. She majored in economics, but she minored in bridge riddles.
Okay, hold on. I have another recipe for you. Okay. Get ready for this one. It's a casserole. Okay. Okay. We've heard a lot of roast jokes tonight that have all kind of hit on the same topics. I'm not going to do that here. I'm just going to say some sad things that Matt's done. This is true. Matt was very upset when his girlfriend aborted a baby, but just because it was a boy, which meant he could never fuck it. It keeps going. These aren't jokes. This is just stuff he did. And so then he assaulted a black person. Well, it was a trans woman, and she was Palestinian. And when he did it, he said, "Allah Akbar that, you fag bag." I don't know why he did those things, but he did. Okay, it's your turn.
Guys, my sleepwalking has been getting terrible. Tori looks like she tries to crossbreed livestock. It's not working because the bulls won't get near her.
Do you guys have one more?
Oh, I think is that five?
That is it.
Okay.
But if you guys want one more, you can do one more. Or are you good?
Back to the top of the book. Okay. Well, I don't have one more.
Tim, do you have one more?
Yeah.
Guys, give it up for them, everybody. Great job. Great job.
Okay, I mean, exhausted. You get it now, right?
It's been a long episode.
It's been a long episode. Really, good battle. A lot of big hits in there. Your first time seeing Matt Sullivan. Obviously, we've seen Tori a lot this season. Go ahead, give me your thoughts.
Like me some little Sully, man. Some young Sully. He's like a mix between AJ Leidig and Sorich. They've got a style out there, and they do it well. He's the new face. Could be Rookie of the Year. Miss Tori Ward, though, she's like that Christy Cello I've been talking about since in the 2010s. She's just got this style about her that's just it's hard to dislike her. And she's always going for the big shocking moment to try to set up a bigger joke later, I feel like. That last round was a little wild just because she was just going for shocking things, buzzwords.
Yeah. And
just trying to go down like a free fall of them, which is fun. I think you're just trying to get all your intrusive thoughts out, basically. But it was a long battle. It was fun. They obviously have great jokes. Sullivan is just trying to write great jokes, man.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like Sullivan. He's up there just writing great jokes, great themes. The class president speech was great for the second round as the theme.
Yeah.
He's just, man, again, like they have that style out there, and he kind of he really exemplifies that. He is like that poster child of that style out in Chicago.
I'm glad you said the Christy Cello thing because it allows me to add another example to a hypothesis I was just going to have, which is 3-round battles will always favor the more traditional, boring joke writer.
Right.
Always. Every single time. If you think back to Chicago's first championship in 2023, the first one in the RBL era anyway, Brandon Kiefer versus Tito. Tito is more of a character there. Brandon kind of wore him down, won the battle. You think back to last year, Fujiko made that run.
Right.
And everybody was enamored with Fujiko, and then she went up against Max Sorich in a 3-rounder. Max wore her down. Here, Tori Ward versus Matt Sullivan. Everybody's been in love with Tori Ward all season. 3-rounder, that's a long time to maintain that kind of awkward energy. I battled Christy Cello in New York in a 3-rounder in 2017, maybe. Mm-hmm. The first round, I didn't feel like our jokes were even close. I thought my jokes on paper were way better. I lost the first round handedly because her sort of personality. By the end, I think the crowd was like, Jesus, this is a lot. And I just kept doing the jokes. And I won the battle. But I think it's because it's really hard to maintain that kind of like energy, and the novelty of it maybe wears off a little bit by round 2 and 3.
We could bring another boxing analogy in here. It's almost like Ali Frazier. Let them punch him out. Like heavy punchers, you're right. They're gonna tire themselves out by that. I mean, man, after the second round, honestly.
Yeah.
So if you're a big swinger like that, and you can't sustain that, I mean, then yeah, you're going to be flailed out by the third round. Shout out Femi, by the way. Femi is an African battler who battles in Chicago, and that's what they're talking about when they reference who's eating the cats and dogs.
Yeah, I feel like he's become this season the most referenced battler. I've heard a few Femi references throughout that tournament. He's becoming a star there in Chicago.
Yeah, he's awesome.
First time seeing Matt Sullivan. Very, very impressed. Just like very solid and thorough and. 22 years old. I think he hasn't been doing stand-up that long, and just like to enter this tournament, go 5-0, write all those jokes in a 3-round battle, and pull it off is great. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that guy.
The youth movement I'm liking. It's like the early. I don't want to sound like a creep here, but I'm saying like I'm noticing a lot of the younger battlers, like the early 20-year-olds into
you
like
have
the
a type.
Yeah, you're right. I know it's the Binkows, the Leidigs, the Matt Sullivans. I get it. Yeah, the Avery, whatever's. But because they're good joke writers. That's why. When you guys came in the 20-teens and were just writing hella jokes, and it was the golden age, I call it still. And now I'm seeing with these like younger battlers who watched us obviously for the last 10 to 12 years, they're coming up with jokes, and they want to structure their jokes. Even like here in Binkow and Luna right up in Wrightwood, the way they were talking about the way they were going to structure their jokes. I'm just going to write a set up punch one here and do this. It's like they have a whole puzzle and just a whole structure to it, and I really appreciate that. What I mean by watching Sullivan, it's just he's just up to writing jokes. He just wants to spit these jokes and see what happens. He's having fun, and if they don't, he's like, I just wrote these jokes. They're not going anywhere.
It was also really well structured. I feel like he didn't go in on kind of how weird she was until the third round. He had the one in the first round that I loved about she's from Portland, and they keep Portland weird, and they were like, you have to leave. To me, that was what I always used to call like a table setting joke. Like I'm doing the joke. It's not the strongest joke I have, but it's going to set everything up later.
Yeah.
But he knew, give her 3 rounds to kind of show everybody how weird she is, and then this shit'll hit harder in the third.
Ooh.
So
that crossbreeding joke with the bull, that's a good call, Pat.
Really, really well done, Matt, and great job, Tori. Great job to Chicago, man. They've had a hell of a year, and they just keep going. It's a great scene down there. The race between them and New York is going to be wild to see. 2 weeks ago, New York had the number 1 battle, Chicago at number 2. Last week it was Chicago at number 1, New York at number 2. What do you say we continue the trend and go to our number 1 battle this week, and it's New York City featuring L.A. New York versus L.A., the 2 winners of the East and West the first 2 seasons. This took place at the Comedy Cellar. This was a battle I was so excited to set up. I can't wait to watch it again and talk about it. This is New York's Chris Crespo going up against L.A.'s Greg Roquet in the number 1 battle of the week. Here it is. All right, we're going to start the first one at 3 minutes. I'm just going to find that real quick. All right, here we go. So 3 minutes, clap, and then play.
Ball, come on. Battle! Chris, Greg, let's roll!
So Chris is a novelist who specializes in Westerns. His writing isn't good, but his hands are bad and ugly.
People say making fun of a guy in a wheelchair is punching down, but I literally can't. Hey, Greg, look what I can do.
Hey, Chris, look what I can do. That wasn't my joke. And Alexis, I want to talk to you after the show. So Chris will never forget where he was on 9/11. He was in class when 2 paper planes hit his hands.
Greg, I don't need arms to push you around, Greg, all right? Greg is Mexican, and he's the youngest of 4 kids. Did you know that the average Mexican family has 3.5 kids? Greg's mom took that literally.
So, unlike me, Chris was born disabled. I know, fucking gross. But his parents told him that his disability shouldn't limit him. He should reach for the stars. And judging by his hands, he looks like he touched one.
Greg is trying to make it in Hollywood as an actor, but the only callbacks he gets are from doctors telling him he's never going to walk again.
I mean, that's what you get when you don't have good insurance. But also, believe it or not, Chris is actually really good at making shadow puppets, if and only if you want to see a duck.
Greg voted for Trump. He's the only Mexican that I know that hates DEI. Doorways, escalators, and inclines.
So Chris went to art school, and in his last year, he was on academic probation. He, for his final project, he submitted a self-portrait, and his professor thought he plagiarized Picasso.
Double Crunchwrap isn't just Greg's favorite food, it's also how the car accident got him into the wheelchair.
I mean, it was a wrestling accident, but it was a pile driver.
All right, we might have a new most awkward ending. And by the way, as if the episode hasn't been long enough, what do you say to an overtime?
Overtime.
Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a joke off. This is for all the marbles of this battle right here. This is going to overtime. This is on you guys. Greg, you went first last time. Chris, you're up first this time. It's a joke off. Let's roast!
Greg is bisexual. He's into men and women who can change his diaper.
Chris is an illegal alien, and by that, I mean he looks like a monster that escaped from Area 51. I mean, you look like E.T. if he landed in a bodega in the Bronx, but I think that's unfair to E.T. because E.T. can figure his girlfriend.
Okay, so overtime a little bit soft, but overall it doesn't change the battle. Number one battle of the week. Incredible jokes in there. Greg versus Chris, New York versus LA. Give me your thoughts.
Disabled battlers always overcome a lot of adversity with anything, but these guys, all they're doing is writing jokes, right? We were talking about Matt Sullivan and the younger guys like you say I have a type with. I have a type. It's joke writers, and Chris Crespo is addicted to writing jokes, and so is Greg Roque. He's a hell of a writer. He's a screenwriter at that. Yeah. So I just love seeing two joke writers. Doesn't matter what position in life they are in, whether they come to any kind of adversity. But man, I just love jokes, and those guys had them. I mean, we were talking to Chris. He was on a couple episodes ago, and he couldn't stop talking about his joke writing obsession. So that was on full display. You could see it. They didn't hold back. Clearly, they can't. But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude. And this was one where, like, when Greg said he was going to be in New York, he just happened to be there when we were doing the Cellar show. And he was like, I would love to battle at the Cellar. And I said, I think I have an opponent for you. And I was like, do you know Chris Crespo? And he was like, no, I'm not familiar.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, you should watch some of his videos. And he came back 2 minutes later, and he was like, oh, I get it. Cripple fight. I'm like, yes, but also that's not the entire
joke
reason.
fight.
I'm not going to lie and say that doesn't factor into it. The beautiful thing about, what some people might consider gimmick battles is that they get more views. The views might be because of, like, intrigue or whatever, but, like, the reaction and how much people love him is based on the jokes. If these guys didn't have jokes, there would be no sense in putting two people up there just because, like, oh, he's in a wheelchair and he doesn't have, you know what I mean? Like, who cares if the jokes suck? But, like, there's a reason Joe Urell versus Robin Tran every couple of years goes crazy. It just surfaces as a clip and has 30 million views. It's because their jokes are they're on point. They're both really, really good joke writers, and so are these guys. And I think in a lot of ways, similar joke writers. I liked this one from a number of angles, and their styles was at the top of that list. It really was before anything else. I just thought they matched up really well, and it was proven out there.
Yeah, because Greg does a thing where he's a great two-way player, right? I guess we'll go back to that because he's not going to get defensive about things. Even the Crunchwrap joke was funny because he was like, I was arrested, but it was a pile driver. So it's like that one-up thing is very fun. It's not taken away from what he just said. Let him have his moment because then you can just flip it and then disable it like Greg did. But I just really, really appreciate how Crespo, especially his opener, that is like my style of like, Greg, look what I can do, right? And then Greg rolling right around, and then doing the masturbation thing. It's just, it was on display right in the beginning, and then after that, like they didn't let up, and they just kept going in and not holding back. And that's what's great about the Robin Tran, Joe Urell, and that's why this one's going a little viral on our IG page right now because of that. Because these are great jokes at the end of the day. People just want to see, great jokes. I mean, like people obviously want to see like, oh, let's see what they're saying. We want to see a train wreck. But this isn't a train wreck. This is a train race. This is a bullet train versus another bullet train.
Absolutely, yeah. And Greg did really well in this battle with something I've been harping on the whole season, which is a pet peeve of mine has become people who feel the need to rebuttal everything.
Right.
And it's like sometimes, like there was one battle that didn't make the countdown this week, but the guy did a joke, and then there was like 10 seconds of, it felt like 10, it was probably more like 5 seconds of silence after the crowd died down as his opponent tried to think of a rebuttal and then eventually just went, I don't have a rebuttal for that.
Oh.
And then why are you saying that? What are you doing? Stop it. Just do your joke.
Right.
Nobody expects you to have a rebuttal for everything. And Greg was like, I'm only going to do it if I have like a joke, something to make the crowd laugh with it. Like, I'm not just going to rebuttal it for the sake of rebuttaling it.
It's like getting punched in the face, being like, well, I don't have a punch to
Yeah.
counter.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah, your counter punch is just like, ouch. Who's that helping? Punch back. Punch back. Anyway, they were punching each other the whole time, metaphorically, of course. Amazing battle. New York gets their mileage out of that Comedy Cellar event. Chicago gets their mileage out of their tournament. And let's take a look at the result here as we go to the championship. Coming out of Chicago's tournament and New York's Comedy Cellar event, they are neck and neck in the East. Chicago, 40 points. New York, 39. They are separated by 1. Atlanta and Cleveland, of course, bringing up the rear. Cleveland now up to 6. Atlanta has been riding the high of that Shelley Gruenberg versus Tamar Rubin battle for weeks now, and they've missed a couple of submissions. Look, my thing is you got to be submitting battles to get on the board. I have no sympathy for a city that is not submitting every week and then finds themselves in danger of falling out of the league. Cleveland always working hard. That's why if it ends up being them, I'll feel bad about it. If it ends up being a city that is not regularly sending shit in, I will not shed a tear. But for now, Atlanta's still ahead of Cleveland there. We go to the West. Los Angeles, big week for LA. They get the 5 points for DeHerm versus Jay Light, and they also get 3.5 out of Greg Roquet in that main event. So they end up picking up 8.5, opening up the lead over the Bay Area, who falls into second. Austin getting some points out of Mike Eaton, and Denver last in the American side of things with 3. Also did not turn in a battle this week. So.
Come on, Austin. Come on, Denver. We love you guys.
Get it together, guys. In the West, Barcelona continues their dominance over the entire international field. They move up to 31. Scotland, thanks to Barcelona, picks up 1.5. They are still
Regal
well behind.
Season. Shout out Lucha.
Vancouver 4, Toronto 1. Toronto at the bottom right now.
Wow, Vancouver's got more points. That's crazy.
Yep, Vancouver had 1 last week, and frankly was closer than Toronto to making the countdown this week. So Toronto got to step their game up. In the East, almost no movement at all. Sydney gets the 1. Everything else remains the same. And then we look at the wild cards. New York, 39. It's crazy how you can have you could be 1 point behind the most in the league, and you find yourself in the wild card spot. They are comfortably ahead of the Bay Area and Austin. And then the international wild card, that's anybody's to grab. Look at Sydney. When you have 3 points after 9 weeks and you still find yourselves on the standings, that shows that nobody's running away with it. Tokyo in the lead right now, but
it is looking like that first season was a fluke, man. I mean, I'm always singing your praises, London, and you guys have a battle coming up soon. But man, come on, step it up a little bit.
We're gonna need a 30 for 30 documentary on what happened to London.
The fall off, yeah.
I mean, this is crazy. Everybody else and Scotland. London is a little bit more pronounced, but Scotland is having a really rough year after 2 years dominating the West. They have dominated.
Yeah.
And now they are really struggling too. More than half of those points have come from being in Barcelona and Manchester. I think they only had 1 actual Scottish versus Scottish battle rank this season, and it was Cullen versus Trainer. The rest of those guys are going to have to step up a little bit. Those 2 guys can't do everything.
Right. But I mean, like, look at Yamaki. Look at Yamaki and Troy. I mean, they're kind of doing it right now, kind of carrying their teams. They're, the Pip and Jordan thing. So it can be a 2-man,
It can, but Yamaki was submitted this week, and they did not make it. His title match against John Sabai. Shout out to John Sabai, the new Tokyo champion, but did not make the countdown. That international wildcard spot is there for whoever wants it. Somebody's got to step up and get it. Because right now, nobody is. It's a game of, no, you take it. No, you take it. And I know Tokyo has a roast fest coming up before the end of the season. So if you're one of those other cities, you might want to get ahead of them now. That would be my advice. Anything else on the standings before we get out of here?
Big Barcelona week. Shout out James Regal. Shout out everybody doing it down there in Barcelona. I apologize again. I'll do it every day, every week this season. I'm like Tony Kornheiser, always saying bye to Canada, Barcelona, Spain. You guys are the best outside of Madrid.
hell of a run for Barcelona, for Chicago, for New York, for LA. Big early season returns. We still got a lot of time left. We'll be back next week with week 10 of the RBL season, presented exclusively by Neft Vodka. Until then,
get some fucking tickets. Get tickets to all of our shows. Go to rosebattleleague.com, buy some merch, hit the Patreon, buy some tickets. Come see us. We're coming to your city. We have fun out here. Come to see us. We do things out here. Let's roast.